Good morning, everybody. At least it's good morning for me. How is everybody doing? Hope everything is going well for you. You know, I sometimes think I really ought to pre-record that and just stick it up there, but it lacks verisimilitude and authenticity. So, welcome back to The Long Dark. Stalker, survival mode, and so on and so forth, and what have you. A brief recap. I am playing Dr. Astrid Greenwood in survival mode, and she is in Pleasant Valley and somewhat in desperate need of a good meat supply that won't give her parasites, because even the parasite potentially laden meat is running out, so I need deer. Minor challenge, I suppose. And the weather seems to be worse than I recall in Pleasant Valley, but that could be a function of the difficulty mode, which is Stalker, as I've said previously. And as I've also said, that is a really unfortunate name for a difficulty level, don't you think? Anyway, let's see what transpires next. The good news is I've got a bow underway. I found a maple stick. I have a few arrows. I've got a birch stick. The possibility for a few arrows is good, because I think I've got 3 arrowheads and enough feathers. Let us, therefore, see what happens next. Morning, Danny. How's it going? How is Peanut? Ooh, do I have food? I do. Ooh, not much. Oh, I do have 3 arrows. Morning, Low Tree. Oh, and I do have a bit of fresh venison. Okay, that's good. And yes, it's pitch dark on the screen. I remember when I first started watching oh grief, The Long Dark, back I think during COVID. The creator I was watching, whose name I wish I could remember, but cannot, used to try and post-process the darkness so that it was more visible. I can certainly understand why he did that. But I'm live streaming, so I can't, even if I knew how to. And I tell you what, the bane of a creator's existence, I think, is rendering. Because that takes forever. If you ever want an example of how frustrating it can be making videos, do a random video, make it to, I don't know, 15 minutes long, and then run it through the rendering process in a suitable editor. It'll take about as long as it took to record it in the first place, depending on how you're rendering. I hate rendering. Oh, did you now? Did you manage to find matches? Bane of my existence is in interlopers is finding matches. And I need more water. Where did you find the hammer? And why was it so weird? You know, if I was so inclined, I would hate you, but I'm glad you had such success. I have not yet found a single box of matches in 6 attempts at interloper. Oh, what difficulty level are you playing, Danny? One thing I should point out, by the way, although I'm sure people are aware of it, intestinal parasites, in the game, you treat it by taking antibiotics, or I think reishi mushrooms. In reality, that won't do a darn thing for intestinal parasites. It might do something for any infections they bring along if they're bacterial. But, yeah, no, if you've got parasites, I don't think antibiotics does anything for them, because antibiotics are specifically battle bacterial infections. Oh,
I'm starving.
Voyager. Oh, it's a lot easier to find that in the Voyager. I can tell you. Although in Stalker, I have so far found I found a rifle and I found a revolver and I'm making a bow. Yes, they will do that in the game, but they don't do that in reality, of course. Not if the parasite's basically larger than a bacteria. You know, if you've got tapeworm's not going to, as far as I'm aware, is not affected by antibiotics. And the medicinal properties of reishi mushrooms are medically dubious, in fact. Of course, reishi mushrooms are not actually found in this part of the world within the context of the game. Well, real life, some things are easier, some things are harder. Getting vitamin C in real life, yeah, you can do things like eat blubber from whales. Well, no, that's not easier, is it? If I were in a real environment, I'd make tea out of pine needles. Good heavens! Because yeah, the classic place that I can think of to find a rifle early game is in Milton, inside Grey Mother's house, but I never found one there, and I can't remember in Voyager where I found the first rifle. I do know by the time I found the rifle um, at the dam, I had already found one, but I can't remember where it was now that I think about it. Yeah, nope, can't remember. And I'm not going back through 150 odd videos to try and figure it out. So sorry about that.
I'm starving.
Yes, I believe they are, but they're actually introduced. They're not naturally occurring, and you don't find them in the far north. Reishi mushrooms are, I think, Europe and parts of Asia, but they're not indigenous to North America. Well, yeah, they're not indigenous, and you're not going to find them in a region like this. At least that's my understanding. And I did look it up once, many, many months ago, when I started commenting on what you actually find in the game. Let's see, let's grab some more water. And where's my bits? Oh. So the wolf pelt is cured. That's coming along nicely. That's nearly cured. I thought I had more wolf pelts, to be honest. Do I have more wolf pelts? I do. Look at that. I forgot to drop the useful stuff. Ooh. We are getting places. So there you go. You probably Googled the same thing I did. And one of the downsides to reishi mushrooms is apparently they can actually cause
This pack is getting...
gastrointestinal bleeding problems. All right. So, do I want... I do, I suppose. I want a deer before I do anything else. There's the bear. And there's a wolf. Did I not kill the wolves over there? Darn it, wolves. I need a nice, convenient... Yeah, there's the bear. Do I want to try and risk a severe mauling? That's the question. I mean, I'll settle for bear if I can get it, but let me dither for a moment. Oh, you're kidding me. I thought I killed them. Do I want to deal with them now? grief. Look at that. Bear and wolves in the same shot. Don't think the wolves can get me on here. I don't know about the bear. The danger, of course, with this is if I do go off in the other direction and get a... Oh, he's coming this way. I may find out if the bear can reach me on the car. In principle, the answer is no, it can't, but we'll see. Can I get... I can. So if I go bang, switch, switch. Oops. So, I've got a chance at doing this. Can I do that from crouched? Yes, I can. It's easier. Well, he or she looks like they want to approach from this direction. So, who am I to say no? Looks like I'm going to be shooting the bear. Yeah. I've been getting away with eating a slab of bear a day. It's certainly not a bad way of subsisting. Come on, Mr. Bear. Oh, he's coming. It's right behind that tree. Basically 0 or 1.
I've never been so safe.
This is going to be interesting. What do we think? He's not a Kubro. Let's check my statistics. Okay, bears killed, 1. And I get to warm up a bit. Yeah, take my chances here. So, is it good that the bear ran away? Oh, I was crouched. So, possibility it didn't even see me, and it got scared off. Yep, fully intend to do that. Yeah, that's a very low risk of intestinal parasites, that has to be said. Two! I got the bear! Yay! All we could do is find it and shoot the wolves. Where did the bear die? It's not that, is it? Well, I guess I'm gonna have to find out. Alright. Let's go. Yep, that's the bear. And I'm gonna have to face these wolves first. Because I don't want to be carrying... Come on. Well, that's an unhappy wolf. Yeah. But let's see if we can lure that one back. So I've got 2 dead wolves. It's nice to have a safe area for a few days. And I definitely want that. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Yes, I understand, but well, no, I still got that risk because I have to come on. Indulge me. And that looks like... I wonder if that's a wolf that is properly... Yeah. That might be a solid hit there. From the way it's galloping off. Yes, I think that was. I approve. Yeah, that's something like 4 wolves I've killed in that area, so... Looks like it. So that's 2 dead wolves. I'm so sorry, Mr. Bear. The hacksaw is profoundly useful because you can repair it. Oops. Where am I headed?
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Yeah, that's a possibility, I suppose.
Dude, all I can think about is food.
Yeah, also for trees. I am now of the opinion the most profoundly useful, one of the most useful items in the game is the hacksaw. If you got simple tools and scrap metal, you can repair it. So, yeah. You can also repair the can opener. I didn't know that until not that long ago. Yes, yes. This is very true. So, if in doubt, if you've got simple tools, I don't, but if you've got simple tools, and you will eventually find them, yeah, the hacksaw, way to go. Yes, you can. I think I knew that. And I'm not wearing crampons, but I should. So, if nothing else, I'm in a position to game the system. That is only eat at night, a slab of meat, and I keep my risk relatively low.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
And I am rapidly getting in a position to make some decent clothing. There are normal crampons. Getting late in the day. I'll make one more trip to get the get a bag of meat, maybe 2 bags. Start cooking it up. And then tomorrow in game, obviously, go get the rest of it. That was a surprisingly gratifying survival experience. It has to be said. I mean, what was that? One shot on a bear and 3 on the wolves equals 3. Oh yeah, that's too slow. Yeah, that's too slow. I mean, 2 of these bags of meat is probably more than an average deer, I think. Yes, absolutely. And if I had 4 maple sticks, I'd make one. Trying to remember, it took me a while to get 4 maple sticks because the length of time required to get them meant that I kept having to replace the bow. But we will cook up this meat and make some water, and things are looking better. And I'll take my chances with intestinal parasites, because as you say, you just need to take the antibiotics and you're good to go. And the one slab of bear a day seems to be a moderately good tactic, and that allows me to game the system. That is, starve during the day, eat at night, and then you're okay.
I'm gonna need to eat soon.
Yeah, I suppose I could unload everything, couldn't I? Sorry, part of me still says, oh, I'm going to be stuck out here for a while. I'll do that in the morning. I've got three real-time days before those things despawn, so I've got time. And I need food now. So, yeah. Let's go grab some. Do I have firewood on me? Oh, I do have. I was carrying firewood this entire time. Yes. Well, don't have much choice. Oh, I forgot that. What do you mean expired, well-fed? I didn't even have the well-fed bonus.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
Because I don't think I did. Right. Yeah, this is very true. I always forget that, but it's quicker to quarter the animal. I suppose the thing is, yeah, I was quartering it because I'm used to actually doing that kind of thing when there's other things around. But I killed everything, didn't I? So that was a bad tactic. Oh, no, don't want to do that. I want to... I did have it, but... Okay, here we go. Cross fingers.
This pack is getting too heavy to...
Oh! Forgot I was holding the revolver. Yes, no, you're quite right. But this is 6 top, so this is a lot easier. Yes, I know. No, normally I would.
Come on, little...
But it's a 6 top. I'd have to light 3 fires and use more wood.
Come on, little fire. Come on. Perfect.
Hang on. There we go. Yeah, that would normally require 3 fires outside, so you can see that the advantage of doing it indoors.
Yeah, this pack is getting kind of heavy.
Yeah. The most embarrassing thing in the game is an accidental discharge in the house. It really is. It's well, that was brilliantly timed. If I say so myself.
I'm not going to be able to.
I wish I could say I did that deliberately. I find it worse with headphones. The headphones have much, much better sound quality than these earbuds. Although I am considering getting a much better pair of earbuds.
I need to find a place to rest.
Oops. Oh, that was infuriating. I've kind of gotten used to earbuds. They do give me the itchies sometimes, but not too bad. And one of the reasons I don't wear the headphones, actually, there's two reasons. One, I don't think it looks as good on camera, to be honest. Now, I could argue that I don't really look that great on camera, but wearing headsets on cameras, watching other people doing interviews or this kind of thing when they're wearing headsets, it completely masks the face, it sort of covers everything up, so I don't like doing it. The other reason is sound volume from my headphones. I have found a way to increase the gain within OBS, and so it's Not my preferred. The Blue Yeti does much better for sound, albeit it does pick up everything around it, but that's why you have white noise suppression filters. So yeah, it's all a matter of aesthetics, really. Ah, look at that. It's a new day. Why are headphones near unusable for you?
I could eat anything right.
Oh, you get sick. I'm sorry, I missed that. Why? Got it. Sorry, I missed that part of the conversation. I sometimes find they sort of hurt around the ear. But again, it really comes down to, yeah, like I say, the two things. I prefer the look of people on camera without headphones. And there's that minor problem with the gain on the microphone. Isn't fantastic. It's okay. But it's not as good as the old Blue Yeti. I've had this Blue Yeti for grief, over a decade. You can still buy the things too. Oh yes, yes, there is that too. That's a possibility. All right, let's drop this lot outside. Oh, hang on. Did I use all my firewood up? I think I probably did, so I probably got to do a firewood run. Let's drop some water off. Oh, come on! It normally takes about an hour and a half to make water. Did they change the timings for this? Yeah, I dropped that off. This. Yeah, the positioning of this microphone, which you can just see there, is not ideal. Ideally, it should be more in front of my face, either up here or down there, but that's about the best location I've got for it.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
Oh, shut up, Astrid. You're as bad as Will when it comes to complaining. Ooh, look at her galloping around. Yeah. Oh, I just realised I could drop stuff, couldn't I? Let's go and drop a bunch of stuff before I go to retrieve the bear that I shouldn't be eating.
I could eat anything.
Look at her galloping along. Well, the problem with positioning this is simply the arrangement. I don't have a mounting point on my setup. That is the only mounting point I've got for the boom arm is over there on my left. So
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
I suppose, yeah, it's all to do with where I've got locations where I can put the clamp, which sounds daft. You think I've got a table in front of me. The table has about that much bracing between the legs on the table, and I can't find a clamp that will fit around that. It's not really a computer desk. To fix that, I'd have to get a completely new desk of the same size, and that would be a major operation. There is a table, which I like the look of, which would replace the main computer desk that I've got directly in front of me, and a side table I've got over there. And it's exactly the same size, but I'd have to basically dismantle everything, move everything out, rebuild the table, and you get the logistics just get to be a pain in the neck. So it's easier to have this set up. But yeah, ideally, the microphone needs to be right in front of me. Just out of view up there. The problem with that is then it risks obscuring the screen, so I can't see what I'm doing. If I were just talking, it would be a slightly different affair. Because actually this will extend. I mean, it'll extend so that the microphone is right in front of my face, but then I can't see. It obscures the screen. One day, I will probably end up reorganizing everything. But yeah, dismantling all this lot and putting. No, the desk itself that I'm looking at is not L-shaped. I can't find a big enough L-shaped desk. I have what? Something like 88 inches of monitors stretching around that way. Yes, I said 88 inches of monitors. And I haven't found an L-shaped monitor, an L-shaped desk, which is near enough that wide. The microphone's a Blue Yeti. It was when I got it very highly regarded. It's still highly regarded. It's not the best mount in the world. It needs all kinds of stuff. I am not that good a carpenter. So yeah, the microphone's a Blue Yeti. The headset is Audio Technica. And the earbuds are, I can't remember what they're called. All my monitors are AOC because they were cheap and halfway decent.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
And actually the other reason I got AOCs is I got the first one, which is the 34-inch widescreen, because it was a good deal, you know. And one of the things I really, really love about it is it's got this fantastic height system. You literally move it into position and it stays there. So when I got another monitor, well, 2 monitors, but originally it was just the one. I deliberately went with AOC again because the dimensions and the aesthetics matched, and it's got the same height leveling system. And I thought 2 monitors is surely enough, right? So, no, I got the third one just because it fits. Do you mean... Hey, little nugget, what do you mean a standing holder? For the microphone or for something else? Busy? I'm busy right now. I'm chatting to everybody online. How are you doing? I don't actually know what you mean, to be honest. I do have... I mean, this does have a standard standing mount, but again, it's all in the way. So having the boom arm means I can move it in and out of position, and that's why I got it. Because the regular weighted mount would sit right in front of me here, and again it would block the screen, and I'd be spending half my time, peering round it, which is awkward. So with a boom arm, I can just swing it out the way if I need to. So. Yes, I know the kind of thing you mean. I've actually got something like that. Like I say, it would be in the way. Yeah. Well, at least I'm in a position to put out snares now.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
I mean, ideally, I might consider a longer boom arm that would actually put the microphone above the monitor in front of me, but centrally located. That would need to be quite a bit longer. Or, yeah. I could consider moving that to here, but then that's all in the way, so no. Its location right now is not ideal, but it's good because I can just move it back, swing it out the way, and that area then becomes completely clear. So it's all, yeah. I mean, I've seen, I've seen enough interviews, streams, and people's monitor setups. Some of them don't mind having the monitor completely visible. I don't like that. It clutters up the display. So, but if you're prepared to have for everyone to see the microphone, that's fine. I actually prefer. I prefer it to look as though I am I prefer it to look as though there is no microphone present. Again, it's all a matter of, personal stuff. I mean, there are lots of improvements I can make. Anti-vibration, explosive filter would probably be a good idea. I've tried explosive filters once before, and I'm not sure it really made that much difference. Explosive filter is one of those circular things you see in front of some people's microphones, and it stops what are called explosives, like the word explosives.
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
Alright, let's go chop up some wood, do some cooking, and take risks with eating bear. Yeah. I'm trying to think, would it be easier if I didn't have so many monitors? Possibly. Alright, did I... I'm not an expert, by the way. I've sort of looked around and tried things out and this sort of thing, and looked at how people present themselves on live streams and interviews and on YouTube, and sort of evolved how I like to present myself, if you like. One of the next minor little projects I have in mind is a green screen, so that the white wall you see over there, I'm going to see if I can't get a green screen to put up there, which would sort of wrap round behind my head, so that I can actually make the webcam display transparent. So I might then be able to expand the whole gaming area into the rest of the screen. Chat's transparent, I'm transparent, everything looks a lot better. I put a green screen closer to me, but actually, do you know what? That might actually work, but then it would block off the laptop. And I do like seeing the laptop because it lets me see what time it is, but it's a possibility. So, what am I doing? Ah, yes.
Come on, little
Oh, I'm
friend.
glad to see you're relaxing, little nugget. You don't strike me as having necessarily the most relaxing life. Ooh.
pack is getting too heavy to carry.
But yeah, a green screen right next to where I am that would block off the laptop would actually make it easier for me to sort of cut out the background, and so make things so I could have a transparent webcam display, and that might be even better. Except, like I say, I do like to be able to swing around and use that. But I don't really feel like having to put up a green screen and taking it down every 5 minutes. You know. Well, say hello to Peanut for us.
Oh, rest suit, I'm gonna fail.
I did not want to do that. Yeah, I don't think apartment management would be too happy if I start making modifications to my ceiling. Plus, I don't really have the skills for that. But yeah, that would be useful. I mean, if you could do something like, yeah, if it was something like suction cups up there, but suctions I don't trust. But yeah, I could have a look at that. The only problem too is I'm a bit close to it, so if I would knock it frequently, but we'll, you know, I'll have to see. Ooh.
I could eat a horse.
Oh no! I didn't want to do that. Okay. I'm not about to drill holes in the roof. I'm pretty certain management wouldn't care for that. Yes, I imagine they would. Here we go with the infection risk again. Definitely need to see about getting a deer. It'd be interesting to try and design a dedicated space. Obviously, this isn't. That would, with more area, and maybe I do like the fact that I actually have a fairly compact space, despite 3 monitors. Actually, you can't see this. I got 4 monitors. I got a 40-inch monitor I use for YouTube, literally up there. 40-inch. If you ever want a giant monitor just for things like movies or YouTube, Hanspree does some really surprisingly lightweight and functional stuff. It's a 1080p 60 hertz, which is perfect for multimedia, just watching movies and what have you. And it's a 40-inch monitor, and it's very light. It weighs about 10 pounds, 5.5 kilos, something like that. Like I say, if you want, look up Hanspree, HANNSPREE. Technically, it's a 39.5-inch HDMI input. Comes with a remote control. It's basically a TV, but without the TV function. You have a Hanspree or a 40-inch monitor? Oh, you mean you're happy with one monitor? Professionally, I used 2 monitors for years, and then went to 3 at one job. And
I'm not going to carry this load for much longer.
you very rapidly get used to what you can do with multiples.
Oh, I'm starving.
Wow, that's very nice. What am I doing? Dear. Let's drop that. Okay, so this area should be free. Let's see if we can get a rifle to... Let's see if we can get a shot at something that I can eat. So, without the bear and the wolves, there used to be deer that would come down in this region straight ahead of me. Let's see if we can find something. Well, no, these have evolved into specific uses. I've described it before. So obviously I've got the 34-inch widescreen right here in front of me. That's for the game. On this side, arguably I could get rid of that monitor. But on that side, I've got Firefox and I've got the Steam application. I could hide those. Right. This side, though, that's where I've got Restream Chat, which is what I primarily look at. And I've got OBS Preview. Yeah. You know, you're right.
Of course.
Were it not for the fact that I just spotted deer over there. I would do. Because I do need... Actually, I need rabbit skins. Yes, I do as well. Not while I'm streaming, obviously, but I will game and have YouTube on at the same time. I heard a wolf. Sorry, I need to check out the wolf. Okay. Don't feel like hunting deer when I can't see the wolf that's threatening me. Traps it is. Yes. It's entirely possible. Alright, traps. Rabbit traps. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that is a profoundly bad location for me to have been doing things. Yeah, there are rabbits over in that direction, so I think we're going to go and make some traps and do that. Yeah. Traps it is. What do you mean? Are there? Oh! Well, why was it following me? I didn't hear that. Nope, that's not a wolf that's killed a deer. That's a wolf that's irritated with me. Yeah. I got a suspicion that was not a deer hunting wolf. That was a human hunting wolf, but we shall see. And that was an excessive use of violence by rifle. All right. It's interesting that YouTube is giving better sound quality than I'm getting. I'm sitting right here. Well, there's one. Oh, I can actually hear it. And there it is. It got one. Yeah, definitely got one. Right. I am actually going to take... I am actually going to take a quick break. It's okay, when I hit escape this pauses. So I will be back in a few minutes. Yeah, but for a quick kill on something, rifle's pretty good. If I'd used the revolver, yeah, it wouldn't have dropped dead, and I want the fur. Oh grief, there's another wolf around here. Right, I'm going to be back in a couple of minutes, and then we'll start harvesting everything and probably slaughtering more of the deer population. Right. Now I'm getting a bit lost in what I'm doing. I will see you all very shortly. Enjoy the intermission. All right. Let's see if I can find the other deer.
Meat trees?
That's a bit of a clue there. Yep. Huh. How about that? Do I have firewood? I do. Oh. Okay. And given that that wolf is around, lighting a fire strikes me as being a good idea.
Oh yeah.
How long to recover this? 42 minutes. 1 hour 42. Okay. And that will be reduced by using... Oh, don't I have a knife? Yeah, okay, I'm gonna...
barely walk with this much gear.
Ah,
Eating it small.
food. Glorious food. Oh no, I got my knife. It's just in the other direction. No, I have a knife. I still got it. Oh. Let's see, I don't think this is going to work. Eh. Okay. That's step in the right direction. Let's go drop things off. I should probably attempt to find that other wolf and get the pelt. And yeah, exactly. It's just getting a bit late in the day, but I can always come back. I want that wolf pelt, because then I can make a wolfskin coat. There it is. And then the other one's back over that way, so... So I am now going to have enough for deerskin boots, I'm going to have enough for deerskin leggings, I'm going to have enough for a wolfskin coat. Yeah. Starting to get things into a better situation. One thing concerning system setups, if I were to have my time over again to rebuild all this, one thing I would not do is have a small form factor PC. I would have a somewhat larger case, because overheating is a potential thing with this system. So I would use a slightly larger case, give myself a bit more space.
Any of this gear.
But when I started building this PC, which with my son's able assistance, oh, hang on a second. I was actually building it just to play Minecraft. And then I got into playing Sky Children of the Light, so that was a requirement, but not massively. I mean, it and Minecraft would have been fine. And so small form factor was fine for that. And then things sort of developed. So, yeah, I would want I don't want a massive system, but one of the things was my son's the expert on building these things, so I took my components down to Manchester. He built it, and then I carried it back up here. Yeah, to do things differently, I would probably found a way to get a somewhat larger case. The one thing that I wouldn't do, you see, is put a all-in-one water cooler in. I hate liquids inside computers. The idea just goes ding in my head, like, nope, not doing that. Definitely not doing that. Yeah. I still fiddle with Minecraft. If you have I know I've advertised it. A couple of days ago I did this Minecraft ASMR, relaxing rain and this kind of thing, just for a laugh. And yeah, the number of mods required to do that was excessive. Looks great, but I do have an idea for a better version of a similar kind of thing. The Minecraft mod I used, the primary one, was Conquest Reforged. Conquest Reforged is really quite a remarkable mod if you're a builder. It can look fantastic. If you ever want some really, really remarkable... Actually, if you go to my Discord, I've published some screenshots of Conquest Reforged and Ardacraft. And it's hard to believe that's Minecraft. Yeah, I don't do multiplayer Minecraft. I find the Minecraft community too toxic. But yeah, no, it doesn't actually... I don't really care whether it's water or not. Don't put water in a liquid cooled system, because you will eventually get bacterial and algal growth, which will ruin your system. No, I just don't like the idea that there might potentially be a leak and that causes problems. Yeah, it's linked in the about information. Go ahead and take a look. It's not the most active thing in the world, but I do when I remember, put updates on there. But Ardacraft is a server. It's not a multiplayer server, but what they're doing is building Middle-earth, Tolkien's Middle-earth, and it looks remarkable. They have a mod pack which you can grab, and if you use the Prism launcher, it'll just import straight into that and set you up, and then it works. And it looks incredible. The only downside to it is that it uses the create mod, which is fine, and it uses distant horizons. And that combination, distant horizons, the create mod, all the other mods, the shaders they use, shaders aren't a huge problem, but trust me, on my system, everything runs at 100%. Completely insane amount of GPU and CPU utilization. It'll happily run 16 threads at nearly 100%. My system temperatures shoot up to 90 degrees and you get thermal throttling. The system's quite safe at 90 degrees, but it's a bit disconcerting. But I don't like... Distant Horizons is a great idea, but it absolutely hammers your system, and I don't think it's worth it. But that's just me. But what I have done is take the Ardacraft mod setup and then cut out the bits that I like and put them into what I call ultra realistic Minecraft. That is streamable and it doesn't hammer my CPU, but Distant Horizons absolutely clobbers your system really, really badly. It's excessive. Hey, how you going, Sudo? Oh no, wait a minute, I saw you earlier, didn't I? But one of the things I do like about the ultra high resolution, the ultra realistic mods is it shows what Minecraft could potentially develop into in the future. So if you like I say, if you go onto my Discord and you have a look at some of the screenshots on there, that is a potential future for Minecraft, and some of it makes you go, holy crap. There aren't too many games which make me give that response from me, and the potential for Minecraft is one of those things that makes me have that sort of reaction. So yeah, if you're a Minecraft player, yeah, grab Artacraft and then extract all the bits that are good. The Bliss shaders work surprisingly well. Don't get the Bliss shaders that you can download for 120.1. That's got a real problem with the day-night transition. Get the Bliss shaders that come with Artacraft. That fixes the problem and it still looks great. Not so great underground, but it still looks fantastic. So my ultra realistic setup for Minecraft, which is streamable, I can run it on a good day at 120 frames a second, or 60 for streaming purposes if I wish to do that. That's something like 54 mods. But a lot of them are necessary and they seem to work very well. One of the favorite things I discovered just yesterday is that there is a sit mod which allows you to sit in Minecraft properly.
I've been so hungry in my life.
You can sit on slabs and yeah, you can sit on half slabs and other things, and it works quite well. But what you end up looking at some of the modding community stuff is this is stuff that should go into Minecraft. I'd love to see aspects of the create mod go in. Not everything necessarily, but the create mod, some of that really should go in. It fits with vanilla just fine. The shaders, some of those, if you could find a low impact shader like Bliss, that might be worthwhile putting in as Minecraft develops. Yeah, like I say, mods are a way of looking into the possible future for Minecraft. We don't need to have a Minecraft 2. We just need Minecraft continually developed. Actually, a redevelopment would probably be a good idea, but then you'd have to make it backwards compatible. And that's a bit of an issue, to be honest. Doable, but an issue. Right. Look at all this stuff I've got. I'm getting there. I'm getting myself into a survival situation. Let us... Yes. Yeah, I've got the falling tree mod.
Carry much more.
It's absolutely something that should be in the game. Some of the when you're walking around type things. Look at that, there's a deer right there. Some of the walking around aspects when you're using a Conquest Reforged and a suitable shader, you start thinking, my goodness, this is starting to look like games like The Forest or Green Hell. I mean, obviously it isn't, but you start to get that feeling that it's not just your block game anymore, even though it still technically is. Now that's the deer, that's the wolf I got last time. And there's the deer I'm going to get this time. And yes, I know I still got one other deer to... I've got Green Hell, I couldn't get into it. I end up coming back to the Long Dark. But, yeah, there are very few games that have truly given me that holy crap response. The possible development of Minecraft is one of them. Warframe is another one. Every time you... Warframe is, you know, is incredibly deep.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Yeah, but that was worth it. No, I mean, when you consider what... I mean, the thing that makes me so impressed by Warframe is it's been around since 2013. It still looks relevant. Its gameplay is still relevant.
I've never felt so cold.
There are so many layers to unlock. And there is still so much further development they could do. They could almost make it into a new No Man's Sky.
An empty pit.
But I've tried other survival games. I did do a first impressions video for Green Hell and for The Forest. And I can certainly see why people play it. They're perfectly good games. But I keep coming back to The Long Dark as my go-to survival game. And I would find it very hard to explain why, to be honest. I think with Warframe 2, they've updated the visuals over the last, don't forget, 12 years. They've been developing it for 12 years. The thing that The Forest was what you almost call gratuitous in terms of the violence, shall we say. I've got nothing against violence per se, but some of The Forest just doesn't sit right with me.
I'm not going to be able to carry this.
I've got no complaints. I am all for all kinds of things. I'm not a huge censorship fan or anything like that. But as I get older, violence and shock value doesn't... I don't like it as much anymore. And there definitely is a shock value aspect to The Forest. If I were younger, I'd probably have a different opinion. But I'm not, so... Oh, look! Tinder is optional now. And you could say, oh, you're just getting, you don't approve. It's like,
Come on.
I've got no objection at all. My feelings about video game content are very similar to my feelings about content in books. Now, you can have really horrific stuff in books. You can have stuff that I can't even mention on
Come on,
YouTube
little fire.
without getting censored. Nobody complains. Now, I wouldn't want to see some of that stuff on TV necessarily, and Game of Thrones is an example. Aspects of the Game of Thrones you do not want to put on TV, and they kind of implied some of it, but yeah. But I am of the limited opinion that possibly what you put in movies, books, people read stuff that is really disturbing. The most disturbed I've ever been has been probably in books. Sometimes with just a simple sentence, and it's like, oh grief, that sends, yeah. So I've got no problem with games like Grand Theft Auto. Even though I think they really go for cheap thrills as much as anything else. But, if someone wants to play it, I'm not going to complain.
I'll do anything for a drink right now.
But no, as I said, as I get older, I tend to value arguably more depth in video games. Oh yes, I mean look at the Game of Thrones TV series. Yeah, the books are
Really walk with this.
yeah, the stuff they put in the book that Martin put in the books, as based in history it arguably is. Yeah, that is messed up. Do I have time to go after that other wolf? And I still have the other deer. Oh, yeah, I mean, and some of the aspects, how do I put this delicately? The ages of the protagonists and what happens to them. Yeah, you would not want to put that on TV. Even though they do strongly imply it in the TV series, they don't make a deal of it. Not as much as the book does. Well, no, the book just doesn't. It's just a matter of fact, Even though I think Martin does somewhat overemphasize some aspects of it. In the medieval period, yeah, let's put it this way. Henry VII's mother was 14 when she gave birth to him. That was considered to be young, even by the standards of the time. But being married at 14, or betrothed at 14, certainly, yeah, absolutely. Arranged betrothals at younger than that. But because this is YouTube, even though this is not made for kids, I'm not going to go into huge detail.
Can you eat trees? Because I'm gonna.
Oh. Did that other... Oh, no, there it is. Oh, you're not going to give me a problem, are you, mister? Well, it'll be dead
Gotta get some
soon.
help. It's dusk, so I can't be far behind.
Oops. Come on. I know, this is the last one.
I could eat anything right now.
And I have a questionable amount of time to get stuff. Yeah, I don't like leaving things till this late.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Now that was the last dead deer, and with luck I can get the rest of it in the morning. Which at this rate will have to be literally tomorrow. I'm just going to get back to the farmhouse. Ugh. I know, a bit excessive. But you know, it's a funny sort of thing, and I'll leave you to decide what you think of it. But you know, as much as people complain about books, it's interesting that in Utah the Bible was banned, I think, from some schools because of its depictions of violence and interfamily relationships, which are not to be encouraged. And it's got some horrific stuff in there too. But we, you know, as a society, we accept that. Okay, yeah, this is a good thing for kids to read. I mean, I remember when I was very, very young, that we had a children's Bible which included the slaughter of the innocents. In a children's Bible. Yeah, I probably left this too long. And I'm not sure where I'm going now. Oh no, I'm good. Ish. Yep, I'm good. Okay, walk straight there. Look at that! I'm a professional. No, I just got lucky. But can you imagine this day and age? I don't know, do they still have children's Bibles? But yeah, can you imagine you're 6 years old reading The Slaughter of the Innocents? Is it primary and elementary and primary schools? Yeah, it's hard to. The funny thing is, the school I went to, that's the first place I read James Bond. I was 8. And it was Live and Let Die. I read Live and Let Die when I was 8.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Well, it's got some stuff in there that, you know, regardless of what you think of it, is, yeah. Do you want very young children reading it? You wouldn't want necessarily a 6-year-old reading Game of Thrones. Now, while Game of Thrones is more graphic, there are certainly aspects and implications that. Right. I am coming up for nearly 2 hours. Yes. My attitude towards children and suitable reading material is somewhat colored by my own experience when I was a child. Certainly at 8, I was reading C.S. Forrester. I was reading Ian Fleming. I was reading books which are definitely not intended for 8-year-olds. I do know that one of the most popular books, authors at the school that I went to, at that age group, was the horror writer James Herbert. And my feeling tends to be a child should be allowed to read whatever they're ready to read.
Man, this pack is getting kind of heavy.
So, you know, that's not the same for everybody. But, you know, as I say, I was reading James Bond at age 8 or 9. I was reading Sherlock Holmes around the same time. And as I say, C.S. Forrester, you know, he wrote Hornblower and similar books of a similar nature. I think a lot of the children that I went to school with got their facts of life from James Herbert. My mother's generation at a similar age got their facts of life from, oh, what was it? Is it D.H. Lawrence? No, I can't remember the name of the book. No, not probably not. No, I'm 59. I've read Lord of the Flies, and Animal Farm and 1984. No, I mean some of those books is the implications rather than the actual language used. And my son had to read the Lord of the Flies for his O levels, but I can't remember when I read Animal Farm. I was younger than him, that's for sure. Four legs good, two legs better. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. And I still remember, what is the last sentence of 1984? He loved Big Brother. I didn't like Lord of the Flies. Um, like I say, I read it because my son was reading it, and I wanted to understand. And if he needed help, I wanted to be able to understand the book better. But I didn't like Lord of the Flies. But that's just me. I've in some ways, if you want to, if for me, the classic literature that I read, or what I consider to be classic literature when I was 8 or 9, was Sherlock Holmes. That was the major, arguably literary genre I read at that age. It wasn't required reading, I read it for fun. But I also have a bit of a problem with what people define as literature. Not because they're necessarily wrong, but because I think they're out of date. So some people say, oh, you've got to read Jane Austen. I've tried reading Jane Austen. It is profoundly boring. And I know I would offend a lot of people by saying that, and that's simply because difference in tastes. But I wouldn't necessarily go to my son and say, you love reading, you've got to read Jane Austen. No. I'm more likely to go say, I'd pick out something more modern because it's more relevant. Just because the English is older or more complicated or uses stranger words or is put together with long expositions and descriptions doesn't mean it's better. Not by today's standards. But yeah, there are some very, very underrated novelists who nobody would ever seriously consider literature, but they have a gift nonetheless. Going back to the 70s and 80s, George G. Gilman wrote a series of hyper-violent westerns that were considered to be the most violent books in history or something like that. Not really, no, not even necessarily by the standards of the time. But Gilman has a gift. Guy N. Smith is another one who has a similar gift. They can publish a very small book, 125, 150 pages. These days it wouldn't be taken seriously. But they've got a style which is, they manage to get a full description, a full story, such that you can see it in your head very clearly, and they squeeze it into a very small amount of space. That's a gift. And I remember when I was being taught English, the importance of description and lengthy description and this kind of thing. And it turns out that's completely false. You can get everything into well-chosen, sparse narrative that is sufficient to plant the picture in the reader's head. That is a gift. And it's not a gift that someone like Charles Dickens or Jane Austen have. But George Gilman and Guy N. Smith do have it in spades. Sorry, I'm rambling. I apologize. As you can tell, I have opinions about that kind of thing. Yeah, no, I've somewhat moved. Did I ever? No, I don't think I ever read John Steinbeck. For me, the 9 or 10-year-old me, the one of the best authors for that time for me was C.S. Forester, Hornblower. Um, Hornblower is very much worth reading, even if you do get better irritated with Hornblower the character. um, I was heavily into westerns when I was much younger. The classic western writer when I was much younger was Louis L'Amour. Um, and I read a huge amount of his stuff. A lot of it has made it into movies. He was this classic Western storyteller, even though a lot of what he wrote about ended up being sort of boilerplate and all the books turned out very similar. Louis L'Amour's stuff was well worth reading when I was a kid. Zane Grey, I did read, wasn't so enamored of, and I'm trying to remember some of the other Western writers. Yes. Yeah, Louis L'Amour was yeah, he was entertaining. No one's ever going to call him literature, but they did make it into some good movies. Hondo, of course, starring John Wayne, who I can't watch on TV anymore, in movies anymore for reasons. But anyway, Tom Selleck, of course, has made Louis L'Amour movies. So has, oh grief, what's his face? Moustache. Um, I can see his pic. Sam Elliott. Strangely, I have tried reading romance novels. I don't like them. Sorry. I actually had a friend who I knew online and never got to meet, unfortunately. Very intelligent, very challenging, lived a very challenging life and got herself out of her situation. And she wrote fantasy novels. She used to talk to us about it on private forums back then. And so I made a point of buying her books, and then I discovered she was basically writing fantasy romance. I haven't read Lonesome Dove. I ought to give it a bash. Right, and I'm afraid I do have to start bringing this to an end. Remind me tomorrow and I can continue to ramble about my opinions on movies, books, and who's a good writer and who isn't. Progress has definitely been made. We have deerskins, we have 2 bearskins, we have
Drop any of this gear.
meat, we've got stuff. Definitely making progress. I'm starting to feel like this has become a serious survival run now that I've got this. Getting your first set of animal skins and all the rest of it is, to me, that's now it feels like I can work into the game. I've got a bow that I can make. I've got some, yeah, we're starting to get there, even if I have been chewed up quite a bit. So, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for participating. So all those of you who are watching who haven't been in chat, please. Yes, I've read Jack London. Call of the Wild when I was a kid, and I can't remember what else. So where was I? Yes, to those of you who aren't in chat, feel free to engage in chat. We have a nice little long dark community here. Some of it transfers over to the Warframe community. which is also a nice little community that's building. Do appreciate you being here. Thank you all so very much. If you have enjoyed it and you haven't already, obviously leave a like, click subscribe, click the bell button. I will be back this evening at around 7 British summertime, 6 Greenwich Mean Time for Warframe, where I will continue to demonstrate my complete ineptitude at what the heck I'm doing, but still, it's fun. One day I'll wake up to Warframe and I'll realize I've got everything sort of planned out, but I don't at the moment. Tomorrow morning I'll be back at 4 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, 5 a.m. British Summertime, with the Long Dark. Go over to my Discord. I'll post updates there if anything changes. I'm hoping to get back to a more regular schedule on Monday, this coming Monday, but that's not a guarantee. But anyway, I hope everybody has a great day. To the Warframe gamers, please remember to hug your Kubro. As I say, a Kubro is for life, not just for combat. And they're cuddly, even if they do look like mutated koalas. To everybody else, be excellent to each other. Be kind to animals, not like I am in this game. Be kind to children. And have a very good day. I will see you all next time.